The median price of a single-family home in Jupiter is now $860,000. That is down from $900,000 this time last year. Welcome to the October 2024 Real Estate Market Update for Jupiter, Single-Family Homes Edition. My name is Casey Prindle, your Jupiter Realtor. If you've been thinking about buying or selling a home or any type of property in Jupiter, easiest thing to do is go ahead and pick up the phone, give me a call, 786-443-7203. If you're too shy to call, you can text me at the same number, or you can email me at caseyprindle@gmail.com. But one way or another, go ahead and get in touch with me sooner rather than later. It's usually easier for me the sooner I get involved in something than at the very end of it. Stick around to the end of the video and I will give you some of my thoughts on the overall real estate market and maybe some of my thoughts on life in general. Data is going to run 30 days behind. That's why you're going to see September as the date of the data. It takes about 30 days to compile and get it out to you guys. All right, ready kids? Here we go. All right, median sold price, $890,000. So take a look at the chart. I think, you kind of draw a support line across here. It might have dipped a little bit below here, but for the most part, I think the trend is still intact, that we're moving up and to the right. We shall see what happens. That being said, I don't put much stock in median sold price. A lot of people like to look at it. I don't think there's much value, especially in a marketplace like Jupiter, where we're just about to see only 49 sales took place last month. I don't know. Median sold price, just not really something I want to put a whole lot of stock in, but I will let you guys choose whether you like that one or not. Let's move on to total number of properties sold. Okay. Total number of properties sold, 49. This is down from 54 home sales this time last year. Let's see if we can pull that. There we are. So we're down from 54 to 49 year over year. Now, just like on this, where you see August to September drops off, sales drop off. Look, August, September, sales drop off. August, September, sales drop off, right? You just keep going down the chart. It happens every year. Lower sales in September than there were in August. So that is a natural market pattern here in Jupiter that buyers and sellers got to be aware of. Now, how troubling do I find these 49 sales? Well, look, 43 is the low on the chart, right? So we're flirting with the lows again. Now, if you look at kind of the pyramid of what I value, when I'm looking at the statistics, months of supply is probably what I like to look at the most. The second thing that I like to look at the most are the number of properties that actually sold, right? That's going to tell you overall how much demand there is, how much activity there is in the market. So for me, 49 sales in all of Jupiter over a month, yeah, that's a concerning statistic. I've said again and again, though, if you're a buyer and you're looking at this, you should be excited. You should know that not a whole lot of sales right now. I can probably make an offer below list price. I can probably get a pretty hefty negotiation built into a property that I'm interested in. Just saying it one more time, guys. Don't sit on the sidelines. If you're looking for a house, call me and discuss, and I can walk you through why I think it's a better time now. Despite interest rates, look, they're ticking up. We're going to talk about this at the end of the video. 10 years going the wrong way, guys. But anyways, I digress. Let's go ahead and move on. All right, average list to sales price, 94.37%. How do you use this? Little introduction for those of you that are new to this. This tells you from the time a property was originally listed until the time that it actually closed and sold, how big the reduction was in price on average, right? So it looks like what you're seeing naturally built in is whether a seller just reduces their price by 6% or whether a buyer is able to negotiate in a 6% reduction in price. That is our average right now. Now, I want to caution with that. This doesn't apply equally across all price points. You're going to want to talk to me and give me a price bracket that you're looking in so we can formulate a plan, right? Generally speaking, properties that are priced lower have less room for negotiation than properties priced higher. Wild generalization, but let's kind of look at that a little bit more. All right, so for this one, I'm going to have to reference a few stats. So let me pull out the old phone here. Yes, it's an anomaly. I need my glasses to see far away, but I can see perfectly fine if you're a foot away from me. All right. So there are 362 single-family homes actively listed in Jupiter right now as of the time of me writing this script, which was October 29th. 50 of those homes are priced below $650,000, right? So 362, only 50 of those are priced below $650,000. 213 of those 362 are priced over $1 million. So again, 50 homes below 650, 213 priced over $1 million, right? So you tell me, where do you likely have more room for negotiation? In a market where 50 homes are for sale, or in a price bracket where 213 homes are for sale? Not that complicated, right? So the market's going to feel a lot tighter if you're on that lower end and there's 50 listings out there than if you're over $1 million and there's 200 plus listings. You're going to be able to likely negotiate more when you're in that over $1 million, 250 plus homes for sale bracket. Now, just a little thing on this. The higher that we are on this chart, the better it is for sellers. The lower that we go down this chart, the worse it is for sellers. Just kind of back of a napkin, how to read that. All right? All right, if you are looking to purchase a home in Jupiter, pick up the phone. Give me a call, 786-443-7203. You can text me if you like. You can email me if you like, caseyprindle@gmail.com. But one way or another, get in touch with me. As I tell people all the time, it's much easier the sooner that I get involved in your search. It gets harder if I'm kind of, involved in the ninth inning. I can't give you as much value or guide you as much. So here we go. Median days, 56. Taking a climb here, right? We were down at 34 days this time last year. So we're from 34 up to 56. I'm going to be honest with you. I've said a couple times, I think this is going to keep rising. Buyers are not feeling a whole lot of pressure, competition, however else you want to call it in the market, something that they see. Now you can look at this, say 56 days. Man, if a buyer saw a property a month ago, there's a decent chance it's still on the market, right? I think now with interest rates seemingly ticking up, at least here in the short term, it may bring some buyers off the sidelines who are nervous for how high is this thing going to go. But we shall see. As of now, if I'm a seller, I'm looking at this 56 days, call it 60 days, plus another 30 to 45 days for closing. I'm looking, realistically 3 to 5 months from the time I put my property on the market until the money hits my bank account and that property closes. So factor in that timeline. It is not like we're back here, down here. Getting all kinds of flip-flop. Look at that. COVID seems to get further and further away on the charts, right? I digress. All right. Median price per square foot, $452. I believe we're up from $439 this time last year. Yeah, $439 this time last year. We are up and to the right. Man, is this a broken record. Again and again. Again and again. The good stuff is selling. People are willing to pay for the good stuff. People are paying more for the good stuff because they don't want the hassle of renovations. At least that's what I hear again and again and again. So it makes sense that even though we have fewer properties sold, they're climbing in price per square foot. Or, I mean, you can at least call this level under a very rough scenario. So while a lot of other stats are not favoring sellers, if you have a good property in good condition that has been updated, and I don't mean if it was updated in 1980, but it's in good shape that qualifies. Truly, if you've truly renovated it, say the last 1, 3, stretch to 5 years, kitchens, bathrooms, all the good stuff, you should be selling at a higher price per square foot. So that's all I really got there, right? I sound like a broken record on that. 73 million total dollar volume. All right, so we're towards the bottom of the chart here, right? Want me to tell you something even scarier? So the top 5 sales of single-family homes that took place in Jupiter last month accounted for $30 million of this 73 million. 41% of the volume came from 5 sales, guys. That's just, I keep warning this. This statistic, because the sample size is so small, it gets skewed in crazy ways. If those 5 sales didn't happen, we're way down the bottom, right? So I say this as a big thing of caution. I don't want you to be overly deceived by this. This isn't bullish by any stretch, right? I mean, we're way off where the high water marks were. And I think this should be concerning. If you're a seller, once again, it's just, in my mind, it's just telling you, look at this stuff. It's telling you if you want to sell, price aggressively. All right. If you're looking to sell a house in Jupiter, give me a call, 786-443-7203. I want to talk to you in detail about all these statistics. This is what I enjoy doing. Don't be shy. I keep saying, I'm a blast a minute to talk to. Can't get enough of me. Seriously. You can text me if you want. You can email me if you want. But the fastest thing to do is just give me a phone call. 786-443-7203. Don't be shy. Let's go ahead and look at months of supply. That should be a song. All right. So here we are. Up 23% year over year. Said a different way, buyers have 23% more choices than they did this time last year. However, look what's happening. Very interesting. Could we be coming off the highs? We were climbing. We going the other way now? This would be the most welcome thing for sellers. The less supply that we have, everything else aside, the easier it is for you to sell your home. That's the easiest way to read this chart. Buyers, still slamming the table and jumping up and down. I told you up here, you should jump into the market because when the supply comes down, other people enter the market, sales get pulled, it's going to be harder to buy a home. Buyers, the lower we go on this chart, the harder it is for you to buy a home. There's no other way to slice it. So I think those two things for both buyers and sellers are extraordinarily important to pay attention to. So I'm really curious to see which way the supply numbers go. My gut says some of the stuff on the market is going to expire unsold. When it does, I don't think those people are going to be in a rush to relist, especially given that we're about to head into November. People, generally speaking, don't list in November or December. And that, honestly, that's the right move because buyers often think, I don't want to do anything during the holidays. But come New Year, my New Year's resolution is I want a new house. Flip side of that, if you're a buyer, know that you're one of the only people in the market November and December, and take advantage of it. Can't say it enough. Good time to throw in offers. All right, so I want to give a little bit of practice what I preach while we're looking at this stuff and while I'm wrapping up. We have a house in Fort Lauderdale that we put on the market, and I put it on the market for about between 5 and 10% below what its appraised value should be. Generated multiple offers and got it sold in 16 days. If you want to call, text, or email me, I'm happy to give you the address so you can check what I'm saying. The reason I did that is because I look at these statistics, and I don't want to be one of these people that's sitting out there chasing price downwards. I don't have a crystal ball. I don't know if prices are going to go up. I don't know if I'm leaving some money on the table by doing that. But I also don't know if this is going to go the other way, if interest rates keep rising and this market becomes more difficult. I really wanted to lock in my gains while I could now. And full transparency, I was also up against I had to sell this year for capital gains tax reasons. So there was additional incentive for me to get rid of it this year. But that being said, the reason I share that with you is to say, look, I don't just dispense advice to you guys that I wouldn't follow myself. I actually followed my own advice, difficult as it was, because nobody likes to think they're leaving money on the table. All right, I want to touch on interest rates because interest rates rule the real estate market. I was jumping up and down for the Fed to cut rates. The thing was, the 10-year didn't wait for the Fed to cut rates. The 10-year started dipping before the Fed cut rates. And once the Fed cut rates and came out and said, hey, we're not going to do this that aggressively going forward, 10-year went the other direction. So mortgage rates have been pulling up, and a lot of people are confused by that. Long and the short of it is, that's what happened is, doesn't seem like the Fed's going to cut interest rates as aggressively as people wanted. And that's putting pressure on people looking to get a mortgage right now. Reason I bring this up, if you're a buyer, you don't know what the future is going to be. I've said this again and again and again. I will say it now. Look, if you can negotiate $50,000 or $100,000 off listing price, but you have to pay today's interest rates, it may be worth it. It's a holistic equation. It's something that you should sit down with a piece of paper and look at and say, how different is my mortgage payment at this interest rate versus where I really want it to be down here at this 5%? Or is there a way to structure a deal where maybe a seller who wants to sell and there's room in the appraised value of the house, maybe I can get that person to give me a credit to buy down my interest rate. How can I play with this? These are the times where you can make deals like that. I implore you, if you're a buyer, to make deals like that. If you're a seller, I implore you to work with buyers and get a little bit creative on how you guys can get together. This isn't as clear-cut as things have been in the past. You have to get creative on deals if you want to get things closed. I think it's worth noting that, and I want to make sure I'm clear about my thoughts on that. All right, last thing I want to talk about today, insurance rates. A lot of insurance policy renewals going out. A lot of people getting a surprise in the mail as they see they're suddenly in a flood zone that they hadn't been in the past, and now they got to carry flood insurance. This is causing a decent amount of sellers to say, okay, enough, I want to sell. All my insurance costs have gone up, my taxes have gone up, I want to sell. Flip side of that is, for a buyer, it's just as difficult to come in now because now they have to carry all of these different insurance policies that they hadn't had to carry before. So I bring this up because I want to make people aware. It is going to cause some people to sell. It is a headwind for people coming in to buy. But I do think this is going to be a catalyst for some sellers as these insurance policies come through. And like I said, they're looking at total costs of, my assessed value went up, my insurance went up. Now I have to carry flood insurance. This is getting crazy. I don't disagree with you. Especially if you're a second home. The equation is is changing. Hopefully, I have plenty of money and it's not a concern, but for a lot of people, it is. And look, I mean, I feel for you, but just remember, if you're going to sell because of a high cost of insurance, we also have to find a buyer who's willing to take on that cost of insurance. So, little asterisk there. That's what I got for you guys for this month. As always, I really appreciate everybody who does call me, who does email me, and who does watch this. So be well, and we'll see you next month.